Now, questions are being asked about the cost of the Lesseyton Stadium near Komani in the Eastern Cape. The province's Co-operative Governance Department has requested a cost report after a public outcry. The project has been described by some as merely a fenced-off piece of gravel. Joining me now is Mr. Ken Clark, a chairperson of Let's Talk Komani. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Clark. Give us a little bit of background about your involvement in the community in Komani, and perhaps if you could talk about the issues of service delivery that have been highlighted before by yourself.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the invite. I've been engaging with province and the municipality for more than 4 years now to try and bring a turnaround in the financial affairs of Enoch Makujima. Needless to say that things have just got from bad to worse. You know, the levels of corruption are quite staggering. They've written off 900 million rand in wasteful and unauthorized expenditure. That coupled with the Chris Hani District Municipality having squandered 1.3 billion rand. Now, you know, this is a staggering amount of money. And here is another instance of 22 million rand being spent on some ridiculous thing. And who gets the contract? Some out-of-town contractor that can be bribed or that can pay a bribe for the contract. And the people of the town get some silly little pittance for their money. That happens when we've got potholes in town that are 600 millimeters deep. I mean, you need a 4x4 to drive on some of the roads. And you know, the level of prioritization of things that are needing attention is just quite, it's beyond belief. I cannot understand how somebody who would want to squander 22 million rand on a silly little sports facility in the middle of nowhere when there's no water to irrigate the sports fields would spend that kind of money and not build roads and infrastructure that is desperately needed in the town.
Mr. Clark, we have a compromised connection there, but I'm going to ask you just to hang on with us, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment. We're talking to Mr. Ken Clark. He is chairperson of Let's Talk Komani, as we focus on the infrastructural problems and the issues of service delivery that have been lingering in that particular municipality. And also, Let's Talk Komani. We'll find out more about who they are. He actually is an independent candidate running as well for the November 1 local government elections. Do stay with us as we continue that conversation. Can you hear what our connection was breaking up there? Mr. Clark? Mr. Clark, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes, I can. Must I turn my video off?
I'm not sure. No. Please keep it on. They asked you to please keep it on.
Okay. Okay, fine. No problem.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for staying with us. This is your daytime update. We focus now on the Komani municipality, Komani, in the Eastern Cape. And we are joined by Mr. Ken Clark, who is chairperson of Let's Talk Komani. Mr. Clark, before the break, you were talking about issues of service delivery and the long history that you've had with the municipality. You spoke about prioritization, or rather the lack thereof, in Komani. But let's talk about the municipality's debt issues. At the moment, they are owing Eskom in the region of about, what, 500 million rand?
No, it's now over 600 million.
So talk to us about that, as well as their management from your view of finances.
Well, the current, we succeeded in getting a court order for them to pay off their debt, and their settlement was reached. And they complied with that court order until March of 2020, when COVID struck, and they've paid very little since. Back then, we got the debt down to about 250 million, but that's risen at the rate of some 25 million rand a month, and it's just, escalating with very, very little being paid. My information is that they are collecting less than 20% of the 60 million rand that they should be collecting on a monthly basis. And that amount of money is scarcely enough to pay for salaries. In fact, I think that the fact that they've been able to recoup some debt from government department is the only thing that has allowed them to pay salaries. So from a service delivery point of view, we have regular electrical interruptions, and time again, they haven't got the required repair kits to repair the cables. The cables should have been replaced 5, 6, 7 years ago, and this still hasn't been done. And we're busy lobbying with the Premier to make 35 million rand available so that the centre of town can have a reliable electricity supply. Now just think, how can you not spend the 35 million rand to ensure reliable electricity supply for your central business district, and then go and squander 22 million rand on some silly little project outside of town? These kind of decisions are just absolutely defy belief. And I cannot understand why we can't just sit around a table and be honest with one another. There's a total lack of communication, a total lack of transparency. And my view is that the reason for that is that this municipality is totally captured, and they are looking for every opportunity to try and embezzle money.
We'll talk about those allegations that you're making in just a while. I'd like to remain here with the figures that I have in front of me, that the municipality was paying at some point, as you've indicated, Eskom between 20 million and 25 million rand a month. They have a wage bill of around 28 million rand a month. So the total expenditure for the municipality, according to the records I have here, is 53 million rand, but they're only collecting around 9 million rand from electricity sales. Now, you are running as an independent candidate. If you do indeed get elected here as the independent candidate, how are you going to change these numbers and these dynamics?
So look, I mean, any business has got two sides to their income statement. First of all, it's revenue. You absolutely have to get that revenue number up. We don't even receive billing from the municipality. So how can you expect residents to pay for their electricity if their meter's on red and they don't receive a bill for that? So that's where the collapse started, and this has been going on now for 2 or 3 years. That being the first part. The next part is the expenditure. They had something of the order of 400 ghost employees in the municipality. And this was uncovered a little while ago, and I believe it is being addressed. To what extent it's being addressed, I'm not sure. But can you see the extent of the lack of financial management and governance in this municipality? It's quite staggering. And really all you have to do from a business perspective is say, guys, if you buy something from the municipality, it is your duty to pay for it. And what we will do as the independents is we will use our community elected individuals who would then have community to support and say to them, we will not be squandering your money. We will give you the assurance that we will spend the money that we collect from you wisely. And then I think people can be induced to pay. But when you have a municipality that squanders money like Enoch Makajima does, then everybody's just saying, well, why must I pay? They're just going to steal it, you know? So it's like a self-defeating prophecy, if you like, you know? It's just, it's a no-win situation.
So let's talk
it's not going to be...
So let's talk about the second part of that. You've spoken about how you're going to try and increase the revenue. You also earlier on made allegations against the municipality, accusing them of embezzlement and saying that they are captured. Do you have any proof of this?
You know, let me say this. I've spent a lot of money taking the municipality to court just to try and get them to pay their electricity bill. You know, for me to now go and investigate every little allegation of embezzlement, it just costs too much money. I mean, that's the duty of this special investigation unit, not for citizens. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that money is being squandered and wasted. You know, every citizen in the town knows it. It's just common knowledge. They publicly declared that they have written off 900 million in wasteful and irregular expenditure. What more proof do I need that it's not going well? You know, it's in the public domain. The Premier, the President knows it, but nothing gets done. This is the point, you know. And somehow somebody has to say, enough is enough, and we're going to take the power back. The people, it's time for the people to take the power back and to run the municipalities by themselves, because frankly, politicians have failed us.
As Let's Talk Komani, who are you exactly? How would you describe your formation?
So I started Let's Talk Komani about 2 years ago, and I invited all and sundry. I said, you know, this is no political organization. This is really just here. It's a forum for disgruntled members of the public to align with us in an effort to pressurize government to listening, because if you go as the business chamber, nobody would listen to you. And what we found out is, yes, maybe they listened to us a little bit, but still, they didn't really change anything. So yes, it was, I think it was like the starting blocks of the independent movement, where we said, you know, from a point of view of we're living in the same community, we want the same things, why can't we be talking together to achieve that? And I think that was quite new and revolutionary in that space. And although we didn't achieve a hell of a lot from a practical point of view, we won various court cases, you know, which showed up the municipality as being errant, and you know, it gave us credibility as an organization to stand up in front of the people and say, you know, we are fighting for you. This is about you. It's not about any individual. It's about the entire community. And I think that's what the independent movement is about now. It's about saying we are a community together, working together, you know, to try and make our towns better.
You mentioned there, you made reference to the business chamber, that as the business chamber there were efforts to talk to the municipality. You are a local businessman in Komani. You have a soft drink company, Twiza, but at some point you were actually ready to take your company out of Komani. Give us reasons why, as well as the state of business in the municipality.
So let me state categorically, I think I was misquoted in the press as, you know, threatening to take my business out. I didn't do that, but I said that, you know, if this level of dysfunction continued, it would certainly lead to business closures, you know, and that's why I've stood up now and I've decided that, you know, I need to stand as the mayoral candidate for Enoch Makajima and see if I can't get the support required to become at least a kingpin player in the future to make change happen in our town. And that's my motivation, really, you know. I think all political parties have got some sort of baggage. And so I decided that, you know, why enter that space? I'll use the newly discovered Section 15A of the Constitution, you know, and form an independent party and contest the elections and see if I can make change happen.
So what's then going to happen to your business interests?
So I am currently the chairman of my company. My son, Lyle, has been the CEO for the last 2 years, and he deals with the day-to-day of the business. So, yes, look, I must state quite categorically, the last thing I need is another job. But, you know, as they say, evil will persist when good people do nothing. And I think it's time for good people to stand up and make change happen. And so that's all I'm trying to do.
Mr. Ken Clark, we'll leave it at that for this afternoon. Thank you for your time and sharing your experiences on the ground as not only a resident of Komani, but also his name and his party will be on the ballot paper come November the 1st. They are Let's Talk Komani.